Jamie parked so bad that he's gonna make me video him again. He's like halfway in here. Do it again. Woo! Don't. That's the magic of TV. Look, he parked perfect. First shot. Morning.
Yo, these guys with their big Super Duties taking up all the parking spots. I can't even park in here. Oh, man. All right. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
2 for deal right there. 2 for 1 maybe?
Yeah. Doesn't have anything to do with construction, but it'd be fun.
It has everything to do with construction. We are at Lowe's this morning shopping for what might be the final kind of list for this entire job to punch it out.
If I had a big enough cart, I could get it all right now, but I think we're going to break it up into,
that's the exit.
Into a couple of trips. But today we're getting stair treads, and we're getting special stair treads that I ordered that have a mitered return. We're going to get some stain to match the red oak up to the flooring color, and we're going to get some trim paint, like door and window trim paint.
That guy just stole your buggy.
I know. I put it right here, right behind me.
There he goes.
And now it's gone. I have to get. It's actually hard to find one. You have to go in the parking lot and like search for one.
I'll get you another one.
All right, give me a nice one. For stair treads, we're going to be using red oak. They're pre-made, and the bullnose edge is really nice and rounded on here. They're on the shelf, pretty cheap too. So we decided this would be the best bet because the oak is a tough kind of wood. It's a little bit better than pine. And I don't really want to make all these in the shop, especially for 2 sets of steps. That would be a lot of treads to make.
How much are they?
These ones right here are $35 each, I believe. And then the ones that I special ordered, we'll get to that in a minute, those are about $50 each.
Okay. We are checking every single one of these because we have to use every single one we buy. We don't want to get one that's defective. Actually, and right here, we've got one that's got a little defect on it, or a major defect if you're trying to install it. And let's put that one back.
Yeah, we'll save that one.
That's a coal. This is a good thing about coming here and picking this stuff yourself, is that when you get back to the job, if there's something wrong with it, your fault. Right, is that a good thing? That's a bad thing.
Maybe that doesn't add up, but I get what you're saying, though. We can deal with that.
That's it. Right. Hopefully nobody else needs those today.
Well, it'd be a short set of steps.
Our next item here is a little trim piece, a 1/4 round to go in the bathrooms against the tub. We used a floating floor, so you had to leave this gap clearance a 1/4 inch, unlike tile where you might grout tight to the tub. So we're gonna pick up a couple of these that'll cover that gap and it won't ever rot because it's made out of plastic. And I don't think we'll have to paint it either. It's already white. That's a bonus.
Should be good to go.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking let's go with this smaller 1/4 round. I don't think we need this huge one.
That one is giant.
That is giant.
That's oversized. Now that might get you out of a pickle someday. You know, the bigger 1/4 round.
We'll need 2 for the tubs and 2 for the slider doors.
Now we got to figure out how to attach these.
I think just.
What do you think? I don't know. We're gonna look. Hey, we got to go to the flooring.
Okay.
Because there might be a special adhesive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say Lexel would probably just stick it.
Oh yeah, Lexel would.
We may have to tape it until the adhesive dries because it may just want to flex.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's a pro move. You don't see that move every day here at the Lowe's.
Our next step here is to try and match our tread color to the color of our floating floor. So we're gonna get some help so that we can open some of these cans without getting in trouble and test it out. Our 3 contestants here are Classic Gray, Weathered Oak, and Driftwood 2126.
They all sound pretty promising, actually. So I'm feeling good that one of these is going to work. I like mine stirred, never shaken.
That's right.
Is that like an actual?
I think it has to do with. I think it actually is.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I know I get the James Bond.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're not James Bond.
No, it's about air bubbles, but honestly, I do shake them all the time. So I used to watch this show on TV. What's the blonde-headed girl that does renovations? It's like renovation rehab or something. Have you heard of that?
No.
No? Anyway, she's big into staining and stuff and matching like antique stain and color. She's always.
Is there a point to this?
Nope. I'm not going anywhere. That's it.
That is dark.
Browner.
Oh, but wow.
Whoa. It's deceiving.
Check that out after stirring it for like 10 seconds. It went from completely dark brown to completely gray. That was crazy. That was like a science experiment.
That was cool.
And this one is Classic Gray.
Probably not gray enough.
Not quite. We need something with a little more
Boy,
He's
that's
right.
light. It's just not doing much as far as the darkening.
Oh, we may have to dump 2 cans together here.
We've determined that none of these stock colors are the right color. So now we're gonna start mixing them like 50-50, the gray and the brown, and see what happens, and that may be the ticket. So it turns out Jamie knows like everybody in this store. Wow. Yeah, every aisle. Hey, what's up? What's up? We're never gonna get out of here. How's the baby? Oh yeah.
How's your cat doing? Oh yeah, right. What's up, Nick?
See? Our last item to pick up here is these stair treads with this return on them on the side. It's like a nosing on the side. It's a little good news, bad news. Good news is we got them. Bad news is that they got set outside. Like someone didn't know that these were not gonna be good if they got wet. So half of them got wet and they are super like cupped and not usable. So we're trying to figure out right now, can we reorder this many of them, or should we try to take these if they'll give them for free and like dry them in the sun, like flip them? I don't know yet. So that's it. We're gonna head to the job. We have a guest loader, Micah.
Oh yeah. Great to be here.
Guest loader. All right,
to
go
do
ahead.
Yeah, no, he's gonna do it for us.
This guy just walked up and volunteered just to load our boards.
Yeah, well, Jamie got me on the drywall last time, so I had to at least load 1 board for for you guys. I felt like that was fair.
I mean,
All
for
right.
him, a truckload of drywall is equal to him doing one board for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See how it
the
Thanks
math.
a lot. This video is brought to you by Magic Spoon, and they make wholesome cereals and bars that have childlike nostalgia. They are Saturday morning cartoon inspired and upgraded for the 21st century consumer. Magic Spoon is delicious and fueling, and that means they bring you a high protein meal or treat that tastes like you remember and you can eat at any time of the day. And it's never boring. Both the adult and the inner child in you will love these tasty, never boring flavors. The cereal has 13 to 14 grams of protein per serving, is keto friendly with only 4 grams of net carbs per serving, 0 grams of sugar per serving, gluten-free, grain-free, and has all natural flavors. Magic Spoon also makes cereal bars that are high in protein and great for when you're really on the run and need a snack that'll fill you up. And they only have 1 gram of sugar with 10 grams of protein and only 4 net grams of carbs. Sometimes I feel like I live on bars with 3 kids and 2 jobs and all the sports and other things we do. So these are really great. Click the link below to get some Magic Spoon cereal today. You can build your very own variety box and use my code Perkins for $5 off. You can choose from the best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, and maple waffle flavors, plus other awesome flavors including honey nut, blueberry muffin, birthday cake, and cinnamon roll. You can also add the cookies and cream and cocoa peanut butter cereal bars to your variety box. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money with no questions. So click the link below or scan the QR code on the screen and use the code Perkins for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/Perkins and save $5 on your order today. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring our video. Let's get back to work.
Is that Arlo? What are you doing with that paintbrush in your hand, man?
Check this out. Check out this incredible cut line that I've been doing.
Wow. Well, now that I know you can do this, you're screwed. Good job.
He's been holding out.
Yeah, but it's taking me all morning, so the other side, so, and the doors, so.
And though you can paint.
We are back on site finally here. Arlo, Jono and Ray have been killing the paint. We're just basically going room to room to room to room to room, punching it all out, painting the walls and the trim. But what we're gonna do now is get going with the stairwell railings. They're gonna be custom made metal. Jamie's gonna do it in the shop. But first we gotta figure out like what's the size, what fits.
Well, we have to take a bunch of measurements here and get our ducks in a row. There's no ducks.
There's no ducks.
All right, there's
Yeah,
no ducks
there's
involved.
No ducks.
I couldn't
Yeah.
think of anything good to say.
So there's going to be a sloped railing here, but we need the treads installed to measure for that. There's going to be a handrail made out of metal here, and there's going to be a section of just flat 36-inch high rail there. I think you're going to start with that, right?
This is the easiest part to do because I don't have to make a template for it. I just have to measure the length, and it's very simple. So I'm going to start with that and ease my way and work my way up to the one on the stairs there, where I'm going to have the template is going to contact in 4 places. And that's gonna be a little bit of a challenge to make it hit every step perfectly and the wall perfectly, because it's angled also. That's another complicated factor there that just makes it a little trickier. So, but what I am gonna do is tack it all together and bring it here before I really weld it off. That way, if I need to make an adjustment, I can do that before I'm really in too deep.
And yet another thing to be cognizant of as we're installing these stair treads is that all of the nosings plane out. And so Jamie's using a long stick, straight edge, to test the cut of our width of our tread there. And he's got another one way down there. So basically we're just making sure that these are all in a line. If they're not, it's surprising how little they have to be out of line for someone to trip on it. Because when you're walking upstairs, it's just like your brain is in autopilot or something. Is that right?
Yeah, autopilot.
Yeah.
I think that's...
so if one tread or step is different, you would trip. We don't want that.
Now, this is actually proud maybe by 1/8 of an inch. Like, it lines up perfect.
It would be better if it was back that eighth.
Yeah,
Because when it's forward, that's what you trip on. It's if it was back more, it wouldn't matter as much.
Yeah, I mean, if
What's
it was,
our real tolerance here? 1/8?
I think 1/8 is acceptable in the nosing alignment category.
Yeah.
We did all this predicting this nosing overhang without having any treads
Right.
to measure. You know, we didn't exactly know what the length or the width of them was going to be. So it's. I mean,
It's
it is.
it's a sense.
It is so
is
close.
so close. I mean, if I could, I tell you what we can do.
Put this one on that one and see what
Yeah.
happens.
I'll have to say that in a previous house that I owned, I checked with a big stick, and between the top step and the first nosing, the straight edge would be off the first nosing like 1.5 inches.
Yeah.
And it was a little cumbersome, but this is way more precise.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Jamie did a shop drawing over here, and by shop I mean that loosely, more like a kindergartner did it, but there it is.
It'll resemble this somewhat. That was just for me, just to visualize what
Okay.
I'm about to build, you know?
Ray's got a pro tip here, or not, wearing a headlamp to cut in.
Yeah.
Is it a pro tip?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Maybe if I have it on super bright. It's all white on white, so I can't see it.
Right?
Can you tell I painted there?
No.
Should I even be doing this?
Just keep painting. Okay, so headlamp, yay or nay?
Yeah, it's helpful most of the time, but white on white is just
It is tough.
it's not. It's like I'm just putting on imaginary paint.
Made it down to the shop and found Jamie just grinding metal and smiling.
You know, it's such a good time. I couldn't even explain to you if I had the time. I got my smooth jazz on the radio.
He did have smooth jazz on, that's no
I've got
joke.
my big fan blowing cool air across me, carrying all my dust out with filters so the dust in here gets sucked in. And, you know, you get the sparks flying.
All right, we're gonna... So what he's doing is getting all the mill scale off of these. Oh, and it's still hot.
That might be hot.
What we found is that they paint up a lot better if you get all of the mill scale off every surface of everything, which is
Yes.
kind of a pain. So these are the feet or the base of the railing. We're
Yep.
gonna build a railing, I guess. Another 5 minutes has elapsed, and Jamie's still telling me about the jazz music. So now we're gonna start. Here's our material. It's 20-foot long tubular steel, and it was about $1,000 to do these sections of handrails for just the material.
The key to efficiency and accuracy here, since we're making a lot of the exact same part, is just to set up a jig or a template, or in this case, just setting my vise and my cross feed in a certain place and running all the parts ahead of time so that I don't have to change anything, and all these holes will be exactly the same distance from the corners where I want them, a 1/2 inch in on each side. Now that all my base plates are made and drilled, I can start cutting this 2-inch tubing, which is gonna make up the frame of our handrail system. I kinda know the overall dimensions, and I just subtract 2 inches off the length anywhere it butts into another tube.
He kind of knows.
Like
Is that sort of?
It's in my head, kind of.
All right.
Yeah. For attaching these base plates to the 2-inch square tubing, I made a jig because this is a very common connection that I make. It holds everything perfectly square and in position, so it's easy to weld and get it centered.
I want to weld it.
You want to weld it? I
Yes.
don't know if we got that kind of time.
As Jamie insinuated, I'm not that fast at welding or that great, but I do want to get better, like really bad. I think it's going to be awesome to be good at welding. So I think this is a good place to practice because it's going to get ground down and touched up anyway. So, and he's going to let me do it, I think.
Plus, I just bought a gallon of Bondo.
Maybe I'll surprise you.
I hope you do. I expect that you will.
Got my True Work fire resistant or flame resistant, whatever that stands for. Won't catch on fire very easily.
It's actually very difficult to even weld a jig like this that is 90 degrees to this base plate because everything kind of bends after you weld it or moves as the metal cools, it shrinks. And so, you know, everything is a struggle really, you know?
Good to know.
There's nothing easy. I've given you your best chance of success here by going ahead and burning off the mill scale on the end of this tubing. There's really not a whole lot else I could do for you. Besides coach you through your first one here. We're gonna put some clamps on this so it can't move. And then you're gonna tack weld each of the 4 corners to start with.
Okay.
You don't see a lot of welders using the woodworking clamps like this one for a pretty obvious reason. When metal gets hot, rubber melts. But I still use them because this is, I think, a great way to attach this thing right here. And you know, the heat is not really close to these. It's just when I do something stupid that, you know, they get melted, but I still think it's a great way to do it. Get it nice and clamped in there. This thing's ready to go.
I've got one post done, and I've learned that if you're amateur with the welder, you got to be professional with the grinder, which I'm pretty good with the grinder. I think we will have to fill a few voids with some Bondo or something, but I did learn a lot from that, and I think by the 3rd one, I'm going to be super good at this. Third post.
Right. Oh man, look at that.
1,000%.
Holy moly, you must have hired someone to do that when I wasn't looking.
No.
Wow, that's a beefy looking weld right there.
The instructions you gave me to not move the nozzle away to keep the gas on it, one.
Yep.
And then to keep the distance a little closer.
A little closer,
Keep
not
the gas
too
on
far,
it.
not too much stick out.
Yep. And then I was overlapping a little more.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So-
I mean, I'd be totally happy with that if it was me, for
Good.
sure. It's beautiful. Yeah,
All right.
do that some more. The next step here is to take the pneumatic sanding disc and kind of rake off any of the weld BBs that are stuck to our tubing. And then I'm actually going to use the sand blaster to really clean this area out so that I know the paint will stick to every part of the weld surface. That's the hardest part to get totally ready for paint.
Post number 5. Is that called dropping dimes?
That's
what it's called?
I think it is, yeah. That's what you're doing.
Nice. That's a wrap for today, even though I just want to keep welding. It's like when That's the most progress I've ever made. And it's because you always weld because you're really good at it and I suck at it.
Well, I've been doing it a couple of years and you've
Yeah.
been doing it a couple of minutes, but you actually made such
Yeah.
huge improvements. I'm totally blown away.
Yeah.
So
It was a lot of fun.
you should be proud of that.
I just want to keep welding all night.
The lights work, so, you know,
Well, maybe tomorrow.
yeah, I'd wait a
We'll do
while.
it tomorrow.
All right,
I'll drop by the job site, see if they're
painting.
painting or wrapping up or whatever.
All
See ya.
right.
How you keep your sink so clean?
Well, you know, I just washed it down with some degreaser, a little bit of motor oil, some turpentine, and you know.
gotta be a record right there. Okay, they're done. That's good. Doors are shut. Windows are shut. Let's go home.